Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, former Bayelsa State Governor Pt.1 dies after slipping into coma 2 days ago. The President of the Nigerian Senate insists that competence will not be compromised in the screening of ministerial nominees by the lawmakers next week. And Chief of Army Staff pledges increased tempo in the fight against the terror group Boko Haram. An explosion at the peace rally in the Turkish capital Ankara kills at least 86 people and injures 186.
On business news tonight, federal government set to issue 80 billion naira worth of bonds next week.
And in sports news, Nigeria Falconets thrash Congo DR to advance to the final qualifying round of the 2016 FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup.
We'll begin tonight on a rather sad note. Former Bayelsa State Governor Chief Pt.1 has died. Chief Alamasia reportedly died of cardiac arrest at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital after slipping into coma 2 days ago and was placed on life support. The Bayelsa State Commissioner for Information, who confirmed the death to Channels Television, said the former Ijaw leader's demise is a big loss to the ethnic Ijaw nation. News broke during the week that the British government was determined to resuscitate and resurrect an outstanding case of money laundering against the former governor and had requested for his extradition to London. Chief Alamasia, who was the first civilian governor of Bayelsa State, was facing money laundering charges in the UK, but jumped bail and returned to Nigeria and since then refused to answer summons for the trial to continue. Chief Alamasia was subsequently impeached on allegations of corruption on December 9, 2005. According to his profile in Wikipedia, Chief Alamasia was born on November 16, 1952 in Amasoma in Ogbo in North Local Government Area of Bayelsa State. He attended the Bishop Dimeri Grammar School, Yenogwa. He joined the Nigerian Defense Academy as a cadet officer in 1974. And was enlisted in the Nigerian Air Force, where he served in the Department of Logistics and Supply. Chief Alamasia retired from the Air Force in 1992 as squadron leader and later joined politics. Now, we also have another sad story, and the Nigerian broadcasting community has been mourning one of its own. The ace broadcaster and television producer, Mike Enahoro. He was aged 80. Chief Enahoro, who died yesterday night, was one of the famous newscasters at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in the 1980s. He got popular for his diction and traditional Asian costume before retiring from the NTA in the early 1990s. He was born into the popular Enahoro family of Uromi, Edo State, that produced the foremost nationalist, Chief Anthony Enahoro, who in 1957 moved the motion for Nigeria's independence from the British. He was also related to the editor of Daily Times of Nigeria, Peter Enahoro, alias Peter Pan. His last outing was at the Mrs. Bimbo Oloyede's 40th anniversary in the broadcast industry held in Lagos recently, where he sang to the celebrant. When we see at the table to Mama, it's really lovely. Mama smiles and then she starts to sing. Chief Mike Enahoro, 1935 to 2015. He will be greatly missed. The President of the Nigerian Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has assured Nigerians of a level playing ground in the screening of the ministerial nominees forwarded to the Senate by President Muhammadu Buhari without compromising the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He made a promise in Ikenne local government area of Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria, while leading a 6-man delegation of the upper chamber to the house of the former premier of the old western region, late Obafemi Awolowo, on the demise of the matriarch of the Awolowo family, Mrs. H.I.D. Awolowo. The Senate President also affirmed that it would not be business as usual, as the Senate is poised to ensure competence, hence are appointed as ministers.
It's not going to be business as usual. What I can assure you is that we'll go with the Constitution, with our rules. We will put Nigeria first. The screening will be done with level of seriousness, and what we're all about is our constitutional responsibility to ensure that we find people who are fit enough to be ministers, and particularly at this time to give President Buhari the support that he requires. It is not about who you like or you don't like, and I want to assure Nigerians that that will not be the basis by which it will be based on the Constitution and based on the ability and our own assessment of the capacity of the nominee to perform. And I assure you that individual interests will not be an issue at all. And we've spoken to senators, we have told them that at this moment of time also we have made sure that as much as possible it will be shared with the public. We're trying to ensure that all will be covered live so that everybody can see, and we'll all be screening from our bedrooms and our sitting rooms as well, along with the senators. But rest assured that we'll do a good job that Nigeria will be proud of.
The President of the Nigerian Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki. The fight against insurgency in the country remains on course in spite of the numerous intrigues employed by the members of Boko Haram. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said this while addressing units under Pt.1 Division in Lagos as part of his strategy to motivate men under his command. Referring to the failed attempts by members of Boko Haram to reclaim Gaidam, he said it was because his men were well motivated.
I was there in Gaidam to really see things, by myself, and I have discovered the loopholes, and we're addressing them. Immediately after my visit, the following day, yesterday, they also attempted to move into Gaidam, but the soldiers really stood up and countered that attack, and they pursued them, and they are really on the run. So that problem has been addressed, and we want to maintain that capability to make sure that we repel, but equally pursue them to wherever they go to. The renewed commitment of the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, the increased equipment that we've been providing to the troops, which further motivated them. The increased troop surge, with the deployment of special forces in key and critical areas, really contributed to motivating the troops.
Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, Chief of Army Staff. And following the spate of bombings in the northern part of the country in recent times, governors from the region under the Northern Governors Forum have inaugurated a committee to review the criminal justice system in the area. The committee has the mandate to identify the sponsors of the Boko Haram sect and ensure their prosecution. Inaugurating the committee in Kaduna State, the chairman of the forum and governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, says that the days of Boko Haram insurgents are numbered as the military has dislodged them from their stronghold in the northeast.
Deputy Governor of Kaduna State,
They have been selected to serve as members of the committee on the review of the criminal justice system of the North. Among their terms of reference is to identify the sponsors of the Boko Haram insurgents and come up with appropriate punishment against such persons. They are also expected to thoroughly review the current penal code with a view to identifying its weakness and challenges in the overall administration of justice in the region.
Most of the criminal offenses currently being perpetrated, especially in this part of the country, like kidnapping, cattle rustling, and inciting religious preaching, inter alia, have either not been adequately covered by the penal code or not at all.
According to the northern governors, the criminal justice system that is being used in the region presently is the one that was inherited from the colonialists. They are of the view that the system is outdated and is no longer in conformity with the current security challenges. The committee is advised to ensure that the new criminal justice system must be in conformity with the 1999 Constitution as amended, as well as any act of the National Assembly.
Careful analysis of the various emergent security challenges confronting the northern states and determine how best to incorporate them into the penal code for proper and effective administration of justice.
The Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, who is standing in for the State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, is optimistic that the challenges posed by insecurity would be reduced to the barest minimum if there are effective laws in place to deal with perpetrators of such crimes.
I'm looking forward to seeing a situation where this effort will consolidate the unity of the North to start with, because sometimes people differ, in one way or the other. But by the time we use this set of laws to harmonize our differences, I think we will be a better people.
A member of the committee and secretary to the state government of Kaduna assures that the committee will cover all the terms of reference given to them by the governors.
We strongly believe that this is the first time in history that something like this is being done, and is out of the zeal of the new leadership in the North to address some of these problems that were for a long time put in the background. So I have a strong belief that we are going to achieve the purpose set out before us, and by the 2 months that was given to the Attorney Generals, they are going to come up with a very, very comprehensive review of the penal code.
The committee has been given 2 months to complete its assignment. The job is no doubt enormous and one that requires the wealth of experience and professional competency of the members. Governor Shettima says the committee, which would operate under the aegis of the Committee of Attorneys General and Commissioners of Justice of the 19 northern states, has the mandate to review the criminal justice system in the region as agreed by the northern governors during their last meeting.
In part 2, after the break, it's World Mental Health Day, and we examine how this condition is being tackled in Nigeria. Stay with us.
Most people avoid the tough jobs. We're different. We're not here to complain that things